Go on my Oliver ad.
Oh, is that what you're playing right now?
No, I'm about to. I'm about to hit it right now. Where's old Oliver at? Yeah. Well, did you see the robber ad I did a long time ago with him? Where it was like the robber? Okay. I'll send it to you.
What is it?
Him selling it. I do all insurance commercials with him. So he dressed up as a robber.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. All right. Let's go into here.
We offer home, auto, commercial, builders, reps, and life insurance.
Oliver's Guide.
Oliver Shots Insurance.
Stairs are dangerous.
Oh, okay.
Stairs are dangerous. Yeah. I mean, Butler pushed me down the stairs allegedly, and I couldn't walk for a couple of days.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, we were drinking, and either he pushed me or I missed a step. But I went flying head first down my stairs.
Stairs are not code.
Hey, you know what?
The lights out, and people come upstairs and have drinks. The lawyer and me said
that's a
we need to do something here.
Plus, he just doesn't like stairs. He don't like stairs. I miss it. I mean, I'll miss some time. Like I like having carpet. Because the carpet has that atmosphere and that vibe to it.
Right.
Take your shoes off, get in the carpet, get the toes in between the carpet. Because I had that early late 90s furry carpet. You don't ever see it in any more houses. My grandfather had it in his house, but when we bought the house, there was red carpet. All right, we're gonna go ahead and pronounce your name. It's gonna be we got former Ocean Springs Ward 2 Rickey Authement.
That works.
What is it really?
Authement.
Authement?
Yep.
Okay. I don't know what y'all call them. Authement. Rickey, we're gonna go in a little bit of how'd you discover Ocean Springs first off?
So getting out of high school, I worked for a grocery store called Del Champs. That got me through high school, and I moved to Houma, Louisiana, and continued growing in the grocery industry. And then one day that my supervisor asked me if I wanted to live in Ocean Springs or manage the Ocean Springs store. So I had never heard of Ocean Springs, and I knew Biloxi because, being from Louisiana, it's either you go to Grand Isle or you come to Biloxi. And so a friend of mine and I took Highway 90 all the way to Ocean Springs. We came and visit, and I was like, yeah, I want to try this out. So we came to Ocean Springs, and when we came to Ocean Springs, there was, I think, one casino maybe starting to get started. Maybe it was the one with the dragon or
Lady Luck.
Yeah, Lady Luck.
Yeah.
And well, they were doing the Sunset Cruise too, I think, before that. But I got transferred over here, and then I was living in Covington when I transferred here, and I drove back and forth, and then I moved here for a little bit. And I thought I missed Covington, so I went back to Covington made it about a week, and then I was like, man, I really miss Ocean Springs. Ocean Springs is just, the people here were great. There's just so much to do here, and I decided that this was going to be my home, and I've been here since 1990.
Did you continue working for the grocery store chain?
I did until 99. And then in 1999, I decided to make a career change when the store I worked for was bought out by Jitney Jungle. I stayed with them. And then one day when they closed, then I decided I would venture off into something else.
Was it home inspection right off the bat?
It was.
Work for somebody?
My dad was no, I did it. I started off by myself, cold started, and it was a rough start. When I first started doing inspections in 1999, Mississippi didn't even have a license for home inspectors yet. It wasn't until the year 2000 that Mississippi started their licensing. So I was a little bit on the front end, and then got licensed and been in it ever since. And now I'm into it for 26 years now.
How'd you start getting your first leads? Because even real estate wasn't that huge back then, correct? There wasn't like now. It's like there's a real estate agent every 3 houses. To
me, I've always felt like the real estate market's always had a lot of people in the real estate realm, that whether they did it part-time or full-time. And when I first started, I mean, it was basically just going to offices, leaving cards, trying to talk to people. And really, I think I really, and I know we built our business, and I say our because I employ 3 other inspectors that work with me. And, we've built this from just being honest and really going into these houses and just kind of writing a report, and doesn't matter, who it is buying it or who it is selling it. I mean, and we're a trusted company.
So that was 99, 2000 area where you got it kicked off. And what what year did you start thinking about, hey, I kind of want to do more for the community? When did you start thinking about getting involved with the community on a political level?
So I had a mentor that and to this day I hope she knows that, but Mary Mar Beckman was a realtor for a long time, and she was a coal banker, and she used to be the chair of the planning commission for the city of Ocean Springs. And after Katrina, I guess it was probably 2006, 2007, I was able to get on zoning and adjustments, and then I got on the planning commission, and that's really how I got started. Mary Mar Beckman was the lady that got my start and interest in being where I am today politically.
How often do you see that kind of jump? Scott, is that normal to jump from planning commission? And
it kind of reminds me of being state auditor, and then all of a sudden you're governor. I mean, that's a big jump from that point, but it got your interest peaked. That's the main thing.
Right. Well, for 10 years, almost 10 years, I was involved in zoning and adjustments or planning. And when Ward 2 came available, when the seat opened up, when Matt McDonald took over the Coliseum, that's when I decided that, I was on the planning commission long enough to know, and on zoning adjustments, to really understand our ordinances and our city. And I just felt like it was going to be, it was a good move for me, and I felt it would be good for the people of Ocean Springs as well.
what year was this?
That when I ran for office in 17.
Okay. So you get in, that was your first term. Can you go into what it felt like when you had, because like one thing I always say, and guys, we had, me and Ricky go back a little bit, met him at the DMV, became friends, and I always just enjoyed when you took over Ward 2, the late nights that you would like walk the streets, the involvement you'd have with the community. You'd stop it. You wouldn't be drinking and going out. You'd be wearing your city shirt, your blue jean shorts, and your leather boots. It's like kind of your signature move.
Yeah.
And you just walk around and you would talking to everybody, and people would call you, and you'd always hear them out. That's something I really enjoy. Like, I really do miss about seeing you. And I know you do get out still. You've been hitting ribbon cut and stuff like that. But like, what made you say, you know what, I'm going to start going out on the weekends and at nighttime? And I was watching you pick stuff off the ground. I mean, you were like, for a long time, you were out in down your community at night, in the mornings. Like,
Right.
what made you say, because you see people in positions in a ward position, you see some people put their full heart into it, and you see people that don't really get out in the community. What when you were thinking about that and being married and stuff, like, what was Lisa like? Ricky, are you really getting out this late?
Well, I really have to thank Lisa, my wife, because there was a lot of nights that, I left home to go downtown, whether I did it on my own because I wanted to walk around and kind of observe what was going on, or if I had to go down there because of a complaint or whatever the situation was. I enjoyed doing that, and Lisa was right there to support me when I was doing it.
Scott, you didn't know Ricky came to Oliver's baby shower, so that's when I met Ricky. We were about to have Oliver, and I was always fascinated because Ricky was just grinding, and that's like I get now. People are like, "Oh, where's Ricky at?" It's because like if you didn't see Ricky out with that shirt on, it was like it's kind of weird not seeing you around.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I knew when I ran for alderman for Ward 2 that Ward 2 had a lot to take care of. It wasn't just about a downtown. And we had, the Ward 2 has all the historical districts. They they have a lot of the bigger parks, the beaches, the boat launch, which we don't take care of the boat launch. It was the county, but it was still in Ward 2. But I mean, there's no other way to have a pulse on what's going on in your ward unless you're out there. And that's why I was committed to being out there and seeing it and being involved.
What how can you kind of give us like a map of where Ward 2 is, the streets
So
or territory?
well, after the annexation, Ward 2 goes from the bridge all the way to Bechtel. It goes down Bechtel, cuts back on Government Street, then goes down Pine, and it makes its way down to Holcomb to East Beach, and then it comes back towards Shearwater, and you got all of Front Beach. It's a and then you have on the north side of 90, you have basically from Camellia Point to the bridge.
When you look at Ocean Springs while you're there to the new administration, this is something people have been talking about. This is a hot topic. Like, why I want to have you on. What is your thoughts on this new change lately? Like, just talk about a few topics that's been going on that you've seen. There's a lot of people that I know that I've talked to that have seen some heavy changes. Let's go with, I would say a big part of it was a lot of smear campaigns were running this last term, this last election, through social media.
Right.
And I'm just one of the type of people where, you support the person you want, but not really have a smear campaign. Then you started seeing more of the movement for, like, honestly, when it came to like Save Ocean Springs, there's always just different groups.
Right.
Do you have any kind of, what's your thoughts on how everything's been kind of running in your area a little bit? Do you have anything that you would want to share or talk about?
I kind of feel like the direction the city is going in is what I thought it would be. The Save Ocean Springs group, they set forth, I think, more of a mission that they felt like they were going to replace the whole board, and they were just going to make a statement that way that Ocean Springs was not being ran the way that they wanted it to be ran, not looking at it from how successful Ocean Springs was. It's just that it wasn't ran the way they wanted it to. The people that were the administrators of Save Ocean Springs, if it wasn't their way, then they just wouldn't have it, and they set out to do that. Unfortunately, with a city that has a $20 million budget, you would think that they would have tried to find candidates that had a little more experience in dealing with $20 million budgets and managing people and people that want to be real servants. I don't see some of the people on that board being true public servants. I get calls from people because they're saying they can't get calls back from their alderman, and it's like, that's, when it comes to voting, people just really need to look at, everybody knows everybody's character. And so you got to have people in office that are willing to answer the phone and want to help people. And I don't think that the Save Ocean Springs people found that group.
Is that group still around?
Well, the ringleader, she sold everything she's got and she's pretty much moved on. I think her big thing is she wanted to be the city attorney, and it didn't work out for her. So she just closed shop and left. I don't hear much about Save Ocean Springs anymore. I don't see as many signs anymore around, and I don't see this new board bringing the city in any different direction than what we took it, which we took it from a lot from 2017 to 2020, 25.
What was some of the I would say upgrades that you were a part of during your time in office?
Well, the thing I'm most proud about when I got into office is that, and a lot of people didn't know this, but in 2017, when I got in office, Ocean Springs wasn't really doing good budget wise. Like, it's one of those things. You run for office, they don't share the budget with you before you get in office. And then you get in office, you look at the budget, you see the budget, you see what the income is, you see how much money you have in cash ending balance and what you got in the bank. And we weren't doing very good. Like we had under 200,000. I think we had 100 and I forgot what it was we had in the bank. But we had our biggest accomplishment was not just improving parks and doing the golf court ordinances and doing the things that everybody really likes. It was about making it better for public safety. I mean, when I got in office, our police cars didn't have radars in all their cars. They didn't have the body cameras. They had outdated vests. And so through time, we over those 8 years I was in office, our first 4, we were able to change all that. And then when we left office with millions in the bank, not just a small amount. And that's to me, that's what it's all about, being on a board like that, is understanding a budget and operating the city with a balance.
Well, did the revenue streams increase during that time period?
They did.
Yeah, I mean, if you left with millions, that came from what?
Well, to
Just good management?
sales tax.
Yeah.
Well, we through sales tax, through property tax, just I mean, we did a better job with what we were spending money on. I feel like we had real controls on our budget.
Was that like, so that was, I mean, how do you even operate with only 200 grand in the bank?
Hope nothing happens.
I mean, it's a big city. 200 grand to start with. You're like, huh? That how long did it take y'all to really start increasing that account?
It took some time, and then we really, I was able to be on the finance committee for the last for the last term, and being involved in the budget and just controlling what's spent. I mean, and look, every department manager in the city did a good job. Like, when it came to budget time, they came to the table. Whether they didn't get everything they wanted, they were all in. They made it work. And and collectively, we didn't put that money in the bank just by a board of aldermen sitting up there controlling the budget. I mean, there's all the people that really made it happen were the people out in in City Hall, all the department heads.
Mm-hmm.
So when you look at like the behind the scenes, I mean, I don't know what goes behind the scenes of being an alderman, being on a ward. You know what I mean? Like councilman, the budget, stuff like that. Well, like when you first seen that budget, I mean, a few people knew about the budget though. So I mean, that when you got in office, how that just doesn't make sense. Got like 200,000 for a city. That's just wild.
It wasn't. We didn't have a whole lot of money in the bank, and so we had a lot of dated cars in the police department. We had a lot of aged equipment, and we were able to turn that around. Now, of course, they've had increases in price on housing and things like that increase property tax and things like that. But and our downtown has really flourished and does a good job. I mean, I got to really thank our downtown people, and I'm not talking about just restaurants and bars. Everybody wants to complain. I shouldn't say everybody wants to complain. There's people out there that want to refer to all of our establishments downtown as bars, and that's not a true statement. A lot of those places are while they sell alcohol, do sell food, and they're very successful at it. But it's not just about the bars and restaurants. It's about the people that own the boutiques, the vitamin store lady, the people that the pet store, our famous Tater Nut Donut shop. I mean, all those people down there in that downtown are what makes that downtown thrive. And believe it or not, and I know people want to say that some people don't agree with a balance that a balance between business and people, but there's got to be a balance because those people that are working their butts off in that downtown and not just the downtown, all down Highway 90 that have businesses are subsidizing people's way of life by through their property tax. Because if the city's not getting it through sales tax, then they're going to get it from property tax. City's going to operate just like your household, just like your budget. Your house note doesn't go away, your car note doesn't go away, your insurance note doesn't go away. So if you're not making it, then guess what? You got to figure out how to make it work. And it's the same thing with the city. The city doesn't print money.
It appears that we've been real successful on the retail side with the sales tax, and that has the effect of holding down the property taxes. And so, I mean, you're talking about the people that want to change, and they didn't want the tourism type atmosphere we have, but that's what keeps your property taxes down.
Look, I was very fortunate for the 8 years that I was in office every chance I had to go out of town roundtable with other officials from other cities to sit down with them and just listen to the challenges that they've had in their own towns and listen. There's not a time that I went to a convention or I went to Jackson where somebody didn't say, man, I wish we just had a half or a quarter of what Ocean Springs has. Ocean Springs is a great place to be. I think that a lot of people found that. No, I didn't go out there and publicize that Ocean Springs was a place to move to. I think everybody that lives here is very nice and very polite and very welcoming. That I think everybody contributed to why everybody wants to be in Ocean Springs.
You look at it with the district coffee company. If you look at their sales, it's majority tourism. I mean, Anthony could pull his tickets, and they have a heavy tourism. People coming, and they're coming, and they're seeing the museum, they're hanging out, they're eating food, and then maybe I want to live here.
Which brings me to this. We went through a phase, and I don't hear it because I'm not downtown. I mean, I still go downtown and I frequent restaurants and bars and clothing stores, whatever. But listening to people just talk about the downtown just being so touristy that it was unsafe. Just because you go downtown and you don't recognize everybody that is in the downtown doesn't make it an unsafe place. You follow me? And that's what was amazing to me. And I'd go home sometimes and I'd talk to Lisa about it, because if you went downtown, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, you're gonna see a lot of people. 5 o'clock, same thing. But once you get to around 6 or 7 o'clock, the people that go to certain places, like Maison de Lou, the office, and things like that. And then you got a different group of people that come in, and it's not a bad group of people because I didn't recognize them, but they were just eating and enjoying our downtown and seeing what our town had to offer, just like anybody else. I mean, I never really felt like our city was unsafe.
And I'm out there all the time. I love it. I mean, I haven't really, have we run into any problems? I haven't run into many problems. It's a lot of fun.
It's a very welcoming community. We'll ride down the street in the golf cart, and all of a sudden, because everybody knows this guy, all of a sudden people hollering at him as we're driving down the road. It's like it's almost like a how's your mama and papa in them, kind of environment.
Right.
It really is.
I think the big thing too is for me is being able to. I like meeting people from everywhere. And the other day I was talking to DJ. I'm at Cash Alley or the Garage. I got two more entrees to finish the whole menu. I'm working on it. Like I go in there because it's wintertime. Of course, for me, it's kind of slow for the businesses. So
right.
I go eat at Patrick's Grocery. I go eat at the Garage. I will make my rounds instead of me going to McDonald's, because it's the same price, truthfully. I'll go just hit, because I want to make sure that everybody, if I work, I like recycling my money back in the community. But I will go. This is what I do. I'll just try to finish the menus.
Right.
Then you go meet a couple. They'll come up to me like, "Hey, we're from Atlanta. We've heard about this place," and I'll just tell them. I'll give them a little tour. Go to Gill's, or go down Hops and Growers, or go see Julian at the museum.
Right.
It's just cool. Like there's a lot. Like I like when I meet a tourist. I think it's fun. I mean, it's interesting to see. For me growing up and going to Tater Nut and living off of Halstead to now seeing this whole different community, and these businesses are coming and they are thriving. You look at Brandon from our Golden, is it our Golden, and then
Golden
Charisma,
Hour.
Golden Hour, and you got Love Ivy, you got all these boutiques, and it's just, I mean, without that kind of movement through these people, they would struggle. I mean, seriously, I mean, these people, like Christmas right now, people are coming from New Orleans, Mobile, everywhere to shop here. You're seeing it.
I agree. I mean, Peter Anderson Festival, all the cruising the coast. I mean, Ocean Springs is their favorite town. I mean, you could walk down the streets and you don't have to even talk to people. You just hear people talking about it. I mean, it's I don't think there's a better place in the state of Mississippi than Ocean Springs. Doesn't matter that Tate Reeves believes in Hancock County, but Jackson County to me is Ocean Springs is the place.
We look at, I was talking to Julian because, Oliver's homeschooled, and I was talking to Julian. I was like, we have a homeschool community, and it's like 50 plus kids. So Julian got me in contact with one of his girls. Next term, we're going to be having homeschool families come and do a project with Walter Anderson, a field trip with the museum. Like it's just cool to be able to see that person physically, see it.
Right.
How's the museum going? It's good, man.
Well, speaking of kids, I'm going to tell you, you asked me a little while ago what I felt like one of the biggest accomplishments or changes that we did or while I was in office. And aside from anything else, I do want to say that I think that the biggest thing that I'm proud of is that we have a Lighthouse Dyslexic Academy in Ocean Springs, Mississippi. Like when our first dyslexia school moved to Ocean Springs, I was not aware of the school or how it functioned and everything. And when they were leaving and decided they were going to go back to pedal, some ladies that were teachers stepped up to the plate and they started Lighthouse Academy. And I was able to help them get that moving along, and they did all the work. But I'm going to tell you, to me, that's the biggest game changer. I think in 8 years, that's the biggest thing I'm proud of.
That's by the Planet Fitness, correct?
Behind Keesler.
Behind Keesler.
Yep.
How long have they been here?
Well, they were in the Tacony school for a while, and then they went to, and then now they're in the school where they purchased behind Keesler. So it's probably been 3 years, 4 years that this Lighthouse, and then before that it was another name.
I was thinking, I think the big thing too is you're starting to see. I mean, Ocean Springs deserves to be where it's at, when it comes to it's always been an art community, and that's something that I will tell you, that's another thing too, is you're able to see that through the community. Like this is probably the only downtown that you literally can just park and walk and it's the hospitality's there. And I think that's another thing too. And also when y'all win awards, let's be honest, people see that in magazines. They see it in blogs. If y'all get a award for the most charming small town city.
Look, this again, I'm very proud of the stuff the city got. Like they got best small town in the nation. They got, best shopping. I mean, there was a lot of things that this city got publicly rewarded for by publicity that the people downtown really worked hard to be able to achieve that. I mean, you got people like at Vestige that's achieved awards right here in our downtown. I'm not a foodie, so I don't know what exactly that it was. James Beard?
Yeah,
James Beard
finalist.
Yeah. So I mean, so all these people in Ocean Springs that are so proud of where they live and what they do, that they put their heart and soul in it. And this is what the outcome is when people reach for the sky and hit the stars.
How did that secondary art district come alive when with 701 and Bacchus with Ivan development? How long did it take to get that second location added for I'm very curious about under the bridge. Like, well, you can go to
Off at entertainment.
Yeah. How'd that get pulled off?
Well, we were trying to get it to where they were in groups. In other words, you can't be downtown Ocean Springs and then go across the road with alcohol and having 701 next door to Bacchus. The people over there, they should have been able to migrate. And then we had Gills. So, I mean, there was a lot of moving parts to that, and we extended the entertainment district down to the yacht club as well to catch the yacht club on the downtown. But I mean, I think every district we have in the entertainment district is successful.
I mean, that's what makes, and now you're seeing the golf cart movement. That's been a big popular thing in the last, 4 or 5 years?
No, the golf cart's been since 17.
17, really?
Yeah, since 18, 17, 18. This is the thing, though. Ocean Springs, for being a waterfront community, we never really had, we had one spot for a short period of time down at the harbor they had built where boats can pull up, where we had a restaurant down there. And then, and that kind of came to an end. But before Bacchus, or what was it before? It was
Marina Cantina.
Yeah, Marina Cantina. We really didn't offer. That was one piece of I think Ocean Springs that wasn't being utilized, was people being able to take a boat and drive up to a place and be able to bring their family and eat at a restaurant. And we have that. That gap was filled.
It's changed a lot. I mean, I think it's changed a lot for. You see that moving to Biloxi. I mean, Biloxi's moving that route too. Now you see people in golf carts in Biloxi. You're seeing a big change. Like, and I'm watching it too. So and with downtown Biloxi, bringing in Fly Llama, Ground Zero. I drive down Biloxi and it's starting to go back into the small town golf cart district. Like, whether for it or against it, it's happening.
Right.
And it's just happened. It's like, and you get more people out, I think that's what makes these certain coastal towns or cities that, like, I'm that type of person. I have to be in a downtown area. Like, I enjoy it. I like getting out and be able to walk the streets. And that's why I found Ocean Springs being like my favorite place. And it wasn't necessarily, when we first started adding these bars, like, the grocery was one of the tops. The grocery was, after Katrina, was popping.
Right.
And then now you're starting to see one pop up, second pop up, a shout out to Kenny Williams. I mean, you look at, he's got 11 moving. You got all these spots now. Sean Desport just opened the Crown, and that's even moving a little further that way now.
Right.
But it's just nice to be able to park the cart, walk downtown, hit all these local businesses. Me and Scott always do like an appetizer and a drink.
Right.
And we'll go and.
Well, for living in Ocean Springs, I mean, there's so much variety. If you want to live on the beach, you can live on the beach. If you want to live on the water, you can live on the water. If you want to live in the golf cart district, live in the golf cart district. If you just want to live in a quaint place away from all that, there's that option too. There's just so many different things that we have here in Ocean Springs.
Yeah. Plus the parking now for the golf carts. So yeah, it's great because you have more places that I know there's other reasons why they were done that way, but it's great for the golf carts.
Yeah, I think so.
And it's good for the delivery trucks. And people have to realize that there's these businesses have to have 18-wheelers. They have to have trucks come in. So in the mornings, that they'll take over all the. I'll watch them. They'll take over the golf cart. I've been asked to move up several times because they're taking over the whole lane.
Right.
So I'll move, but like I see where now you can get in a little better, especially in the morning times. So did y'all ever try to work on, so like from the Magnolia Bayou and all the other locations, did y'all ever try to like did y'all ever when you were in office, did y'all ever try to bring down that speed limit in that area, or was that ever a talk?
It was a request, but we never really tried to change speed limits to accommodate, getting everybody to downtown from all over town. I mean, it's just not successful. I mean, when we passed the ordinance, that the intent was that when people on golf carts, of course, golf carts now are a lot faster than what they were when we first started. When we first started, 15 miles an hour was probably one of the faster golf carts. Now they go 25 and 30 miles an hour. It's not so bad, now, because now they go faster than what the speed limit is downtown. So at least they're at least going the speed limit. But the people that are not they don't pull over to let traffic pass when they get a lot of traffic behind them and stuff like that. So you can imagine that if they tried to accommodate the whole city to make a path for them to get to the downtown, it just wouldn't work.
It seems like it's just becoming such a. It's just funny to me because like living off Halstead, like literally there's no traffic to seeing it ramp up. Like I never thought Halstead, like, because I literally live right across from the tennis courts.
Right.
I never thought in a million years that the house that my dad bought, I think Dad paid like $60,000 for the house. I never thought, like a 1970s, was it a 3-1 house?
Right.
That, I mean, they're fetching 300,000-400,000.
But that's not just the city of Ocean Springs that's seeing price increases like that. That's all across the board. It doesn't matter where you go in our nation or even in throughout the state of Mississippi. Housing prices have just gone up.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that, but I just see some.
No, but I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, the downtown definitely has scored bigger when it comes to that kind of thing.
School system,
right?
You'll have a really strong school system. I mean, people want to have their kids in Ocean Springs. I mean, football teams, everything. I mean, Ocean Springs has a name. Like, I mean, it's not just the downtown, but I mean, it's the development of the city.
Right.
That's just funny to me because, like I said, I mean, my mom lived in Latimer, my dad lived in Ocean Springs, so of course I always went to St. Martin because of the mom's address. But like, I grew up with the Shorkleys. I've run around Fort Bayou, Randy Wrigley's house over there on 57. Like, I've moved around. Gulf Park Estates is Ocean Springs. Okay.
Right.
I will always consider always consider Gulf Park Estates, Ocean Springs. But no, I've been very blessed. We go, and then from like the Sands Project, I was one of them kids that used to go to the apartments back in the day. Like I remember Ocean Springs.
Right.
I was talking to Corey Vinson. His dad used to have a house right there. I don't know if anybody remember that back in the day, but
yep,
we used to hang out at Corey's house, and I mean, we spent in the late 90s, 2000, early 2000s. We lived on that beach, and then we'd go to East Beach, but we live in Front Beach. Like, I mean,
right.
I mean,
I remember when Troy Vincent lived on the corner of.
Yeah, but we were always there. Like Martin. We were always there. We'd always have bonfires on the beach, and it was small town.
Right.
But I mean, I think my thing is growth is always going to come, whether we like it or not. It's coming. It will always come. And you see that with the whole entire coast. People are finding this coast, and they're coming, and they want the warm weather. They want the seafood. It's not just Ocean Springs.
Yeah,
they're all coming. I mean, they find this place. I mean, where can you live where an hour you're in New Orleans, an hour or hour
Mobile?
Yeah, Mobile. You're in Pensacola, Destin.
Right.
I mean, Hattiesburg. You can. I mean, and now with the airport, with Austin trips. I mean,
the only thing we really need to do is we got to figure out this whole liquor thing for the state of Mississippi. Like, we really got to get some different grocery stores. I mean, Rouse's does a good job, by no doubt. I love all these, but man, if we can just get a Trader Joe's or a Whole Foods, I mean, I think that would make my wife happy. I mean, it's I can't tell you.
Well, Aldi's already took over everything. I mean, there's 2 Aldis on the same road now.
Yeah.
Like, there's 2 Aldis on the same road.
They haven't beat the dollar stores yet, though.
Oh no, but I mean, they're coming. I I mean, Emily literally, when they do open a new Aldi, they do like a special thing. So she gets up like 5 in the morning, 4 in the morning with her homeschool friends, and they sit out front, wait for.
Oh yeah,
So they get like a special bag.
right.
I mean, there's a few things that I do. I mean, I don't think we'll ever lose that small town touch. I just know that, as like I said, I wish some of my friends that were renting in the downtown area would talk more about how much they actually pay for rent. If people understood how much they pay for rent, then they understand. Because I've had people a few times complain about their prices. Like, prices are kind of high. The cost of just to operate in a business in a downtown area is a lot, and for them to get up every day and work, that's
They
what
have a passion for it.
yeah,
Like a lot of the a lot of the people that own businesses down there operate their own stores. I mean, there's not a day you can't go downtown. You'll find Will cooking in either the garage, or he's mostly at Lady May, I guess. But he's always cooking.
and now he's got tallow.
Yeah.
I'm actually using his beard tallow product. And I actually gave it to Will. I gave it to my hairstylist, Aaron Jackson, right there by Pueblo Express. He actually took it from me last week when we did Oliver's haircut. Aaron's been cutting my hair for over 10 years. Right, guys, it's AJ Salon. That's that tallow. He's got a new beard tallow coming out.
Right.
And DJ gave me some samples. Got one called Viking and Cowboy, and I gave it to Aaron.
I think they gave them today to the Christmas presents to the chamber board.
Did they?
Yeah.
Well, like I said, Aaron said, try this out. This is what I'm using. This is local. Well, he didn't know it was Will's. And then I said, dude, he goes, I don't know if I'm gonna like it. And he puts it in my beard. He goes, okay, I like it. I said, yeah, it's made right down the road. He goes, it's local. I said, Lady May. He goes, I want to do something with them. That's that kind of connection of, it's so funny how that hairstylist, or you got like a Scott
Right.
from Hopscowers, and they all work together and move that line.
Right.
I mean, I think that's a beauty, but like, I think the biggest thing I want to talk about the downtown area is like a lot of my friends, they own businesses down here, and I know what it takes for them to even pay their bills. So it's like, it's hard. So they need people to come by.
It's a big balance. I mean, you know, and I hate to leave anybody out, but there's just so much in the downtown staple. I mean, you look at how long Todd Boswell's been where he is. You look at all these businesses that have even built new buildings and made their businesses even better, remodeled. I mean,
Miner's Toy Stores.
Miner's Toy Store.
I asked her to come on.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, she said no, but I asked her.
I mean, and I don't know if you've been to Marshall Park lately, but that park right in front of Hemingway on Robinson. I mean, Hosa has been doing a great job with that park, and if anybody that's watching this has not been to that park with the gazebo now, since they've done all the concrete sidewalks and everything, you really need to go look at it, especially the art pieces that are in there.
What so can you give me so we're pulling in, there's Nichols Place, Hemingway, and like Joe Cloyd's place right there on the right
between the bank and Hemingway.
It's right there,
right by the railroad tracks. Yeah, I mean, it's a great place for families to take pictures and picnic or whatever they want to do, but they've done a really good job with that. I mean,
I'll tell you what, is it Danny and Cynthia Chamber kills it.
Yeah, I've been helping them a lot lately.
They're every day they're posting local stuff every day.
Well, that's our chamber in Ocean Springs is not just a chamber. They're our main street as well. So they're like the heartbeat of our businesses, and they do a lot more than just for the downtown. I mean, they cover the whole city from a chamber standpoint, but they're the ones that keep the economy going, and that help keep that economy going down there by advertising and believing in all them business owners.
Would there be things that you would in the future that or with your time, since your former Ward 2, were there things that you were going to do and change that you had a plan for before you were pretty much replaced But was there things that you were working on that didn't get completed?
There was, but it was basically the parking that we had already gotten the parking study done and the golf cart parking and striping. So that happened after we were out of office, but that was all started when I was in office.
Where where when I don't know, this is a personal question, but like, what did it feel like when you what did it feel like for you when you lost because you put your heart into this? Like, what did it feel like to you? Like when you lost, what was that? What was that night and the next day like?
It was a little upsetting, you know. You can't ever take it for granted that you're gonna win every election, but I just knew in my heart that that anybody that ever called me when I was in office or needed something, that I was always there. I always answered the phone. I always went. I always did everything I could, and if I couldn't do it, I was honest with people and just say I couldn't do it. But it was a little bit of a disappointment, but you know. Um, it happened. It gave me a chance to step back and just watch at what things are going now, and looking at things now, seeing how they're not so fortunate, you know, makes me feel good that I was doing a good job for people.
I noticed that you've what makes you like in that situation? How long did it take you to get back into being at ribbon cut and to be back in the computer? Did you take a small little break from it?
I did. I took a break. I just wanted to let the new people get in and get their feet, you know, wet, get started. But you know, the more I sat back and thought about it, you know, I just me owning my own business, I like being involved with the downtown. I like being involved with business, and I was like, I'm going to jump into it. I'm hoping to get on the board for the chamber, um, so that I could help make some decisions and do some things to help move our main street and our chamber forward. Um, but yeah, it was a change.
You've But it seems like you're back at it now. Like you're now I'm seeing you back more and more back in the community.
I think when you love your community, I mean, I think you're just going to do whatever, you know, your heart desires. And my heart, you know, besides the time you know, my most important time is spent with my wife and my kids. But outside of that, I mean, I totally enjoy being downtown, and I enjoy seeing the people that live here, and I enjoy talking to people that are not from here.
I'm sorry, I had to ask that question because it's like it was a question about like, what does it feel like to lose, and you know
It's tough.
how do you get back up? You know, like
Yeah.
you've been doing it for 8 years. You're like, you know,
It's tough, but I can tell you that I know when there's a big difference between losing and knowing you didn't do what you were supposed to do, and losing and knowing that you did everything that you could do at the time that you had to do it. And I did. You know, unfortunately, we were up against some pretty, you know, we were up against a special interest group that not only targeted my position, they targeted pretty much the whole board. And luckily they weren't successful in conquering the whole board, but that was their mission, you know. And so it I felt disappointed and bad, but then I felt good at the end because I knew I did all the right things.
the when did you start catching on that this group? What year did the group start appearing? I never saw. I kind of probably jumped in late, but what year did that group start kind of a
They started in probably a couple years before the election, even, you know, before we had the election. And that's when they were, you know, selling their signs or giving away their signs, and basically just making everything negative in the city. You know, it didn't matter what it was, everything they turned everything negative.
I don't really hear it. I don't hear anything anymore. I mean, I'll start seeing some more. You know, I'm seeing more issues appearing and stuff. I was just curious about how that group came in, like, because it's like all of a sudden, boom, you know, overnight, and I mean, they did knock a good amount of people off.
Yeah, I think the person that was the head of that had a vision that she wanted to be the city attorney one day, and I personally think that she was trying to line herself up to be able to get the votes to be the city attorney, and she had just got bored in the state of Mississippi, so she wouldn't have been a vote that I would have voted for. So I guess maybe that's one of the reasons why she had a special interest in what she did, was was something for self satisfaction for her down the road. You know.
I mean, that was. When did you start hearing about them?
The signs
The signs?
started popping up all over the place, and they were, usually in politics, you say the signs don't vote. Well, these signs voted. They did. They were everywhere, and it was. So I knew something was going on, but like I say, I'm not from the community originally, and so I wasn't aware of really what was going on. I didn't know if this was a normal cycle for elections, that you had a group that went out and it was organized. I didn't realize it was a new group, but they were very, very organized and very.
They were,
very
and you know, and their mission statement really wasn't a bad mission statement. It's just that it's just the way they were approaching it, or some of the things that was on their mission statement. I just think they handled it wrong, you know. And that's pretty much what they did.
What's your observations on how the city's being run now? I mean, are they managing the city properly, or are they having difficulties? Or the only thing I've seen is a dispute over who the city attorney is supposed to be.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta. I think the board is very divided. I think that I'm not sure if they're gonna ever come together, but it's watching the meetings every meeting, they're just divided. They got they all have all the same stuff that they accused the prior board to: transparency, executive session, just all that stuff. I mean, there's no change on this board. The same people that went out and publicly said that they're going to do this and they're going to do that, they're doing the same thing. There's just there's times you have to go in executive session. There's times that you got to vote on things that need to be voted on. And I guess they're finding that out now, that maybe I think several of them have gotten into positions that I'm not sure whether they like it or they regret it, because when they're in the meetings, they sure don't act like they like what they do.
I mean, it's work. I mean, right?
Yeah.
You have if you're gonna represent in your area. I mean, I would think the situation of that's why I would never do. No offense, I would never do it, but you're signing up to represent your community, your area, your ward, and I think you're in a situation where and you look at what you were doing, after work, being out in the community, these events, hitting them, having these meetings. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that goes into it. It's just not it's not a label. I'm pretty sure that maybe it's new for people, but I would just never. I mean, you have to be a special person to really, really want to represent your city.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be a people person, and you got to be somebody that's willing to serve. It's not about a status quo position where I'm in charge, or it's a power status. I mean, if you're doing it for those reasons, it's not the right reasons. I mean, the reasons to do it is because you're here to help the people and to move this city forward with the balance it needs to achieve the things and to be able to pay for the things that the city needs.
How many hours do you think you were spending a week when you were at Ward 2?
Well, I can tell you, it's being an alderman is a part-time job, but Ward 2 just to me was not a part-time job. I mean, I felt like every Friday when I was getting off of work to start my weekend was starting all over again with my second job, because that's when the downtown was the most busiest, and that's when I found myself being involved more down there, besides the time I spent during the week. But I spent probably just as much full-time hours, on my part-time job with the city.
I think that when you get in the smaller the government, the more difficult it is to serve, because everybody in a very smaller level. So you get the calls, garbage, the dogs, everything that's out there. It comes straight
The cats.
straight to you. Yeah, the cats. Yeah, the roosters in this particular community. But it's it's a, like you say, it's a full-time job. You can't walk down the street, can't go eat in a restaurant without being known by everybody in the community.
Right.
And they come talk to you.
But I think of getting back to your question, if they don't start focusing on what's the best for the whole community, they're never gonna come together as a board, because they're never gonna see the big picture of the balance and all the pieces it takes to make this city operate.
Does it, when you first got in, were y'all divided?
I never I mean, there were times when I felt like we were a little bit divided, but we never stayed divided. I think we always found our way through to the agree to disagree type mentality on what we did. I don't see that with this board.
Have you been able to sit in any of their meetings or no?
No, I plan to start going to some of them just to kind of see some of the city employees and people that I worked with alongside for the last 8 years. But I watch every one of them to just kind of see which way we're going. And it's you don't have to ask me. You can ask anybody what their opinion is of the meetings, and I think you'll get the same consensus that they can feel that the board is fractured and divided, and they have a hard time getting along.
Maybe they should all go walk downtown together.
Well,
we're all just people,
right?
I mean, we're all just people. Like, I mean, you're taking on you're taking on responsibility of others.
And look, they have people on that board that are really trying to make a conscious effort to move it forward, despite the conflict that they're having with the ones that have dug their heels in the ground that don't want anything or whatever in our city. So I don't want to make this sound like everybody on that board is not trying to move the city forward. They are, but it's like a boat trying to move an anchor too, if you know what I mean.
They got to come together, or at least agree to disagree.
Correct. Hey, look, when I was in office, I never won every vote I voted for. But one thing that I always tried to reason with was, whether you win the vote or you lose the vote, you gotta go to the next chapter. And it's like, if it works, it works. If it doesn't work, then that's when it goes back to the drawing board. But if I lost a vote that I didn't agree on, I never just stuck my heels in the dirt and been like, just keep causing just a bunch of disruption over it. I mean, it's like, okay, this is the direction that the majority of the board wants to go in, and that's the way it should be. Whatever direction the majority of the board goes in, everybody else needs to follow suit. You can't throw temper tantrums and walk out of meetings and just throw your hands up in the air because you're not getting it your way. You're not going to win every vote. That's why they have boards.
You can't make it personal, because it's not. You have the bigger picture there. Today, there's going to be 4 of you vote this way. Next day, you voted against. Now those people are going to be voting with you on another issue later. And so you just can't burn the bridges.
Right. You're 100% correct.
Well, I mean, I would say with having some fresh people in there, like, I mean, there's really no book on this, right? When you get in office, I mean, do you have maybe a mentor from an older cat or something like that? But like you said, throwing a temper tantrum, or you say, like, got to keep your emotions out of it. How many times did you ever get upset when you were going to vote? Did you ever, when you first started, did you ever get kind of like, did you ever leave pissed off, or you just kept to yourself and walked out?
No, I mean, I pretty much always talked to everybody when we left. I mean, again, you're not going to win every vote. If you go into those meetings thinking you're going to win every vote and everything that you believe in, it's not possible. But one thing that I always, was I a little bit upset when maybe the vote didn't go the way I thought it should have gone, and it was in the best interest? Yeah. I mean, but never where I didn't like any of my colleagues sitting on the board.
Take me to how you decompress after the meetings. Did you like go home, throw some rock music on? Like, what got you in a good mood after the meetings? Because I mean, you're one of the type of people, and I know this on you, like you read all your inspections at the end of the night. You're super OCD. I mean, I could bring everybody to your garage.
Sometimes I did go downtown and have a bite to eat and just kind of sit around and talk to people I knew. But a lot of times I went home and just did my work and, get ready for the next day.
So no this like rock music. Lisa's in bed. You're just jamming out. You're
Nope.
Shattering bottles, breaking plates. None of that.
None of it.
See, that's what I'd probably be doing. Like I'm like campaign. I'd go straight Will Ferrell on this. And that would be, my emotions are too high. There's no way I could sit there. Like I would, but I also, it's not about me losing. It's just, being in a situation where I couldn't relate or work together on something. That would probably be more disappointing for me. To like not be able to have a conversation or communication. Because I have been seeing a few things where I'm like, I mean, should all just go to damn Chili's and hang out. Everybody should just like at least understand that like you're not enemies. You're all assigned. And
well, I think the more frustrating thing about being in office and not about your colleagues and how they vote and stuff is the small group of people that go to meetings that don't want anything. They're for nothing. Like, everything that happens, they're against it. And I don't think that's fair that these guys or even ourselves, we had to go to meetings and have people come to them and just, combat everything that was happening in the city. It just didn't make any sense to me.
You're talking about the people that just come to watch the sessions.
Yeah. Basically the ones that just, saying they don't want nothing in our city. They don't want tourism. They don't want, people staying in our, in short-term rentals. They don't want, they would just rather have it Ocean Springs 1960.
Well, I got my certificate from the hospital, so I say welcome. That's how I feel about it. But I do have my birth certificate. I'm going to frame it because it has Ocean Springs Hospital on it. And I'm proud to be from here. But I still say welcome because this world's always going to grow. It's going to continue to grow. We can't stop it. My family home was Latimer. There was literally 2 lanes. I was right my
and look at it now. It's 4 lanes all the way up there.
I mean, you just can't. You can't sit there and go, nobody come.
They got new subdivisions going in over there. No. I mean, it's families are growing. I mean, families are growing. Families got to live somewhere.
Look at the casino before the casinos. I mean, you can all see it. I mean, it's going to grow. Look at Bay St. Louis. I mean, come on, look at Bay St. Louis. It's
have y'all ever really sat back and thought about what the Gulf Coast would have been if the casinos wouldn't have came to Biloxi?
Yeah, yes,
a lot of beers, bar fights, and good seafood.
I mean, so a lot has changed for the good on the coast. And not everybody has to frequent the places they don't like. But I know they got to like where they live because they're here, regardless of what they say.
Well, they changed the economy of the coast more than anything else, totally across the board.
Right.
So the growth that you're seeing over here in Ocean Springs, those people over before they came here, they were over there in the casino and they're staying maybe in the casino, but they come over here and shop. So your tourism grows. It's that one, the rising, what they say,
rising tide floats all boats,
all boats,
or jobs too. I mean, was it Kovacevic? Kovacevic lives in Ocean Springs. You got Bobby's brother. What's his older brother? He's a yacht club member. He was a dealer for a long time. He's got a house here.
Yeah, they provided a lot of jobs.
Because dealers can make 6 figures. I mean, back then, I don't know where they're making now, but like when them casinos came in, there was money. Mm-hmm. I mean, I have a buddy for a long time was at the Beau Rivage, the bellhop. He made a lot of money as a bellhop.
Right.
Bought his house.
Look, Ocean Springs, we don't have any of that stuff on this side. So, so really, what I love about Ocean Springs is that when you come across that bridge from Biloxi, it almost looks at nighttime, it looks like there's not even anything on this side of the bridge. And you could barely even see the lights on Front Beach because of the reflectors, the deflectors they have on the lights and everything. And I mean, it's like crossing from one world to the next. Like, you know, you just feel it when you're coming across the bridge.
Also miss the old bridge sometimes too.
You missed it too.
Yeah. Brandon Bailey had a little S10 and we just, I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's like, you look at the development of where we're going, and I love this place. I'm never leaving. Like I'll travel, but I love the coast all the way across. I hope the best for Biloxi. I hope the best for Gulfport. I want to see every downtown on the coast of Highway 90 just jumping.
Yeah. I'm really happy to see the downtown construction is finally finished. You know, that last year when I was in office, that downtown was a lot going on, you know, and I know that had something to do with some of the people that were riled up. They felt like they had a lot of growth and everything. But you know, but look at what it came from it. You know, businesses have invested. Cornerstone has rebuilt their building basically on the outside. You have all these new buildings. You got 1515 Government Street. We got a parking garage. I mean, you know, this city struggled for years trying to figure out parking in the downtown. There was always conversation about making it a one-way, making, you know, diagonal parking. Well, when you do something one way, you throw in traffic into people's neighborhood streets, which wasn't going to work. But the people that didn't live on those streets, they didn't care. It was like that was the solution.
Yeah,
And
go ask Biloxi how that works.
yeah, and I really feel like they hit the ticket on how we achieved the downtown now, because I can almost tell you that probably all the car dealers are going to go out of business from selling mirrors, because now they're not. Man, they had some mirrors that got tore up on the downtown before that was all done.
You can never find out who hit me though. Like you always look
Right.
No, I've had about 2 mirrors. Yeah, I mean, 2 mirrors been swiped. I think one thing that we have to keep consideration with, like, I was for the one way, because I guess I was just always used to doing the one way for the beach.
Right.
I mean, that's how we hooked. Like when we were in high school, that's what we do. I don't really see it anymore, but we'd always make the path down the beach, round, 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 round. That was kind of our thing, you know. It's how we go to the beach, and it was just a one way though. I think people.
Well, this is a perfect example of why some decisions are made, and they're not made in the way everybody wants them, because there's a lot to consider in every decision on who's affected.
What do you think is going to happen on the other side of Highway 90? Like you think they're ever going to start working on like, I know you see it with 701, you see it with Bacchus, but do you think going more towards the hospital, or they're going to have a little more downtown kind of vibe where people are going to be able to walk around?
I think that the next thing you're going to see developed is probably going to be that northwest corner of Washington and Highway 90. That's where the boat place is. I think that's going to be one of the next developments you see on that road. But one of the big downsides to east side of town, and they're going to have to work out, is the mitigation of wetlands. There's a lot of wetlands in those areas, and you know, Aldi went through it down there on, you know, before they built their building. And if there was a way that, you know, a lot of that stuff could be mitigated up front, it probably make the properties more valuable, and people would come and build in those sites. But it's gonna take that a lot of work to be able to use some of those sites.
I mean, you look at Brad J by the yacht club. They had that development. Was that 6 acres right there? What is that? That corner lot,
right?
You think they're gonna start having more businesses going that way on the beach? I'm just these curious questions.
You know, for the amount of money they're selling that property for, I don't know what the faith of that property is, you know, moving forward. You know,
I mean, I walked it with them. It's a nice piece of property, beautiful trees. I just don't know. Like I'm saying, I'm trying to figure out, like,
well, from a standpoint of ownership, you know, when you buy a piece of property, I mean, that's just a third of the battle. You gotta, you know, and you gotta build what will, you know, bring your money back to you. And I think that for that price of that piece of property, unless it was bought by the city and nothing was done to it, and somebody buys it, it's going to be a bigger picture there. I mean, I just don't see how they're going to be able to make the numbers work.
What is that? What are they offering? Asking for it?
They were, I think it's 6 or 7 million.
Yeah.
And I wonder how wide is it? I'm trying to think. I mean, it'd have to be like a big corporate company coming in or something.
Well, it's not just about well, I guess it could be about a big corporate company, but it's also about, what the income looks like to recoup the expense of building and buying property and things like that.
If you're in a residential neighborhood and the developer goes bankrupt, lots are selling for 100. He goes bankrupt. Now lots are selling for 50. What that means is your 3,000 square foot house is not going to be sitting next to a 1,500 square foot house because it changes the whole scope.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I got to walk that property. It's a beautiful piece of property. It's kind of like, if you take people down on a golf cart, you take them down Lover's Lane, it's a whole different world.
But I think once I don't know where the city is on the 4-lane, improvement with MDOT. But once that gets done, then that's gonna be adding that other lane is gonna be a big changer for the trying to move traffic, where they can get the lights sync better than what they are now, improve traffic signals and things like that, maybe some more crosswalks across Highway 90. But I think that's going to be a big plus to Ocean
Get a bridge like Gulfport that I don't know I've never been on it, but there's a bridge in Gulfport that goes across from the aquarium to Jones Park.
Yeah, well, Biloxi's got a couple of them.
I know. Do you think Ocean Springs will ever get a bridge?
I don't think they have the real estate for it to be able to bring it across and have be able to land it and and all that. It'd be nice if they had one, because I know that there's a lot of people that would utilize it coming from Gulf Hill side with the bridge and then coming across Highway 90 and and things like that.
Is Gulf Hills y'all's, or is it St. Martin?
It's county.
St. Martin. Okay.
No, it's county.
No, but it's called St. Martin.
Yeah, we call it.
Yeah, St. Martin. Okay, I'm just being honest with you. How about Gills is yours? Gills is yours?
Gills was, yes.
So Gills is your area. Okay, so we still have Gulf Hills.
Right.
Okay, St. Martin. Okay. Yeah, I mean, what about the boat? You said something about the area where the boat shop is. Is that somebody bought that?
Yeah, they recently just closed on it, and I believe they're gonna start a development soon.
What type of development do you know of? Anything?
I'm not really sure what they're doing yet, but they're moving forward with it.
I mean, I'm excited. Like, this is cool to it's gonna all happen. I mean, the only one that's gonna be here forever is Burger King's never leaving. Okay. China Walk, right there by the American Thrift Store, a little buffet. Have you been there yet?
Mm-mm.
That's never going anywhere. Is it Dee Dee's?
I think, we have a lot of businesses that have been in business for a long time and survived. Survived not just from a business standpoint, but survived COVID. And look, when COVID came and we had to do all that stuff by closing all those places and the way we were able to make it work and everything. I mean, that was a scary time. I mean, that literally could have paused Ocean Springs for years if it would have shut down our businesses, because there's still places that we vacation that still haven't even recovered from that did the 100% lockdown and didn't let them open their restaurants for takeout and didn't let them operate to try and make some sort of income. I mean, there's places that hadn't recovered, and Ocean Springs, we did it.
Is that what y'all did to shut it down?
No, we didn't.
You didn't. Yeah.
No, we kept our farmers market open on Saturday. We
That's true.
we let people do takeout. The restaurant and bar owners put tables across their doors so nobody can go inside, but they can call an order and they can pick up. Hell, I can remember helping patrol the beach when we kept the beaches open, and we had the, what was it, the rule where no more than 6 people in a group. You know, 10 feet apart, you know, happy and trying to, you know, doing stuff they want to do. And I think that was another thing. I think that when everybody else shut down and Ocean Springs, not just Ocean Springs, the Gulf Coast as a whole continued to try and make things work for their owners. I think people that were in drivable distance found the Gulf Coast because they were able to still, you know, do family things, and they fell in love with it.
I want to hit on this because there's a comment from this guy named Randall Taylor. Because Rickey was forewarned of the rampant drug use and possibility of a shooting at Scratch Kitchen long before it happened. Basically, just shrugged his shoulders and claimed the city was afraid of lawsuits. Can you respond to that?
I never had a conversation with anybody like that.
Yeah,
you know,
that
the police department documented every time we had a call from the Scratch Kitchen. The Scratch Kitchen didn't start off the way it ended up. Unfortunately, it did result in a death, and then we were able to shut her down, but it was coming well before that even happened. I mean, we were all any restaurants bars downtown, they keep a record of all the complaints that are going on, and we've always had a watch on that place. You just can't. What he's probably would have expected is somebody, just a strong arm government, just walk in and log the doors and say you can't operate, and without, you know, we just can't do that. It takes building a case, and it takes you know, dealing with it as it comes.
Yeah, I mean that's fair.
I didn't want to see nobody lose their life, and I was hoping that it would have ended way before then, but I've never shrugged my shoulders at anybody.
Acting like that, you know, it's trying, you know, it's in a kind of an attack. So we're going to Brittany. Brittany says NADVIT. I've met her a few times. She's a real estate agent, I think. I'm gonna misspell it. I wish I could say it, but anyways, Brittany says nothing but love for Rickey. He's a wonderful inspector, in my opinion. Jerry, you know, Jerry swims with the Dolphins.
Yeah,
diver Jerry. Where's my honey at, Jerry? What's up, Rickey and Jordan? What up, dude? And that was the Randall guy. My brother Michael says, hey. Brad J came in at 8:04, said, Rickey is still an asset to the community. Rickey, what do you see coming for the future of Ocean Springs that investors should start considering getting ahead for now? What areas do you see a future demand increase?
I think right now the future demand is in the housing sector of it. You know, I think some of the investors are kind of on pause because they don't know what they expect from what the direction that the board's going on in. But I think a lot of it is housing.
Okay, there you go. All right. Bobby says Rickey has always been a great advocate for the city and a sounding board for responsible growth for the city. He will always be a go-to for me for recommendations and a sensible voice. All right, Jerry, what else you say? If you want to make everyone happy, don't be a leader. Sell ice cream. That's the problem with running for a political office. Trying to keep everybody happy. Let's see here. Going into this. Brad's here. Yep, Brad says thanks. And you know, I think the biggest thing that I want you guys to take from this, having Rickey on the show, he will be back on. Feel free to have your comments. This is very important. And this is, you know, for me, I wanted Rickey on because I consider Rickey a friend. I will say that it is different going around Ocean Springs, and you know, Rickey's back out, but having a person like Rickey, that's like what I learned tonight is, I mean, it's a full-time job. And everybody, you know, maybe you think you can do it, but then go out and vote, go campaign, knock doors. I appreciate everything you've done for the city. Look forward to the future with you. And thank you for coming on the show.
Well, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. It's been fun.
There's a phrase that I've heard before. The measure of a person is the quality of their enemies.
Love you guys. Thank you so much. And
I never heard that one before.
love Ocean Springs.